The bell above the bakery door rang softly, almost apologetically, as if it knew the weight of the moment it was about to witness. Outside, the city rushed forward without looking back, but inside that small bakery, time seemed to pause. The smell of sugar and warm bread mixed with something heavier, hope struggling against shame. A tired man stood near the counter, his shoulders bent not from age but from life itself, holding a thin plastic bag like it was the last thing anchoring him to dignity. He had not come to buy joy. He had come to ask for what the world had already decided was no longer worth anything. Before the story goes any further, pause for a moment. If you believe that kindness still matters, that second chances can change lives, and that small acts can create big miracles, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that may be breaking silently. The man had once been full of promise, like so many others who arrive in the city believing hard work is enough. Years earlier, he had steady employment, a modest apartment, and dreams that felt close enough to touch. Then came the layoffs, the medical bills, and the slow erosion of savings that happens when life refuses to give you a break. Pride vanished first, then stability. Finally, options. What remained was his daughter, a small bright light who still believed her father could fix anything, even a world that had already decided to look away. Her birthday was coming, and she had spoken about cake with the kind of excitement only a child can have, imagining candles and sweetness without knowing the cost of either. The bakery was known for elegance, the kind of place where celebrations were planned days in advance and prices reflected comfort. The man knew he did not belong there, but he also knew that at the end of the day, food that was not sold would be discarded. Waste had become his silent enemy, because it reminded him how much the world could throw away without blinking. He waited, watching customers leave with boxes tied in neat ribbons, each one a reminder of what he could not provide. His hands trembled slightly, not from cold, but from the effort it took to stand there without turning back. Unseen by him, a man in a tailored coat stood near the window, waiting for his driver. This man carried the calm confidence of someone who had never worried about tomorrow. He owned companies, employed thousands, and had learned to read balance sheets like second nature. He was known for sharp decisions and an even sharper sense of control. That day, he had stopped by the bakery on a whim, more interested in routine than indulgence. Yet as he waited, something shifted. The silence around the tired man spoke louder than any voice, and the millionaire felt an unfamiliar tightening in his chest, a sensation he could not assign a number to. The request came quietly, almost lost beneath the hum of refrigerators and distant traffic. The man did not beg. He did not explain his life. He simply asked if there was a cake that could no longer be sold, something past its date but still safe, something meant for the trash. His eyes stayed lowered, not out of dishonesty, but because hope had become too painful to carry openly. The bakery staff hesitated, caught between policy and humanity. The world often hides behind rules because rules are easier than compassion. The millionaire listened, and in that moment, the layers of his success felt thin. He remembered a childhood long buried under years of wealth, a time when his own mother had counted coins before grocery trips, when birthdays were marked by hugs instead of gifts. He had sworn never to return to that place of uncertainty, and in doing so, he had built walls so high that he forgot what it felt like to stand on the outside. Watching the man wait for an answer, he realized how easily a life could tilt, how close abundance and desperation truly were. The bakery manager eventually brought out a small cake, imperfect and slightly uneven, something that had not met display standards. The man accepted it with gratitude that felt too big for something so small. His hands shook again, this time from relief, and he thanked them more than once before turning toward the door. That should have been the end of the story, a quiet transaction of dignity salvaged from discard. But the millionaire could not let it end there. He followed the man outside, not with pity, but with curiosity mixed with something dangerously close to recognition. The city air felt colder on the sidewalk. The man walked carefully, as if the cake were fragile glass. The millionaire watched him disappear into the crowd, then made a decision that surprised even himself. He instructed his driver to follow at a distance. This was not about control or power. It was about understanding. The trail led to a small building on the edge of the city, paint peeling, windows dulled by years of neglect. Inside, the man climbed the stairs slowly, each step an effort. The millionaire waited below, feeling the weight of his tailored coat for the first time as something unnecessary. Upstairs, a child waited. Her world was small, but her joy was large. When her father placed the cake on the table, her face lit up like the room had suddenly learned how to breathe. There were no decorations, no guests, but there was laughter, pure and unguarded. The man watched his daughter close her eyes and make a wish, unaware of how close her happiness had come to being denied by circumstances she could not control. In that moment, the father felt both pride and sorrow, emotions so tightly woven they were impossible to separate. Downstairs, the millionaire sat in his car long after the driver asked if they should leave. Something fundamental had cracked open. All the numbers he managed, all the deals he negotiated, suddenly felt small compared to the power of that simple scene. He realized that wealth had insulated him not just from hardship, but from empathy. He had measured success by growth and margins, never by the lives that brushed past his own unnoticed. That realization did not come gently. It arrived like a quiet accusation that could not be ignored. The following days unfolded differently. The millionaire returned to the bakery, not for pastries, but for names. He learned about the man's past, his skills, the unlucky chain of events that had led him there. This was not charity disguised as generosity. It was responsibility rediscovered. Opportunities were created where none had existed, not through handouts but through trust. The man was offered work, stable and fair, a chance to rebuild without shame. It was not a miracle. It was something better. It was a choice. Weeks turned into months, and the change was visible. The man's posture straightened. The shadows under his eyes softened. His daughter started school with a backpack that fit and shoes that did not pinch. The cake from that day became a story they told quietly, a reminder of how close life can come to breaking before it bends toward hope. The millionaire watched from a distance, careful not to center himself as a savior. He understood now that real kindness does not seek applause. It seeks impact. As this story draws close to its end, take a moment to reflect. If this journey stirred something inside you, if it reminded you of your own struggles or your own capacity to help, please like this video, share it, and stay connected to this channel. Stories like this matter because they remind us who we can be. Before the final words, here is a special request. Please comment below with a single word that represents what this story made you feel. Your words may become hope for someone else reading them in silence. The world did not change overnight. Inequality did not vanish. But for one man and one child, everything shifted because someone chose to listen instead of looking away. The millionaire returned to his life, still wealthy, still busy, but no longer untouched. The father continued forward, carrying lessons learned in the hardest classroom there is. And somewhere in the city, a bakery bell still rings, unaware that one quiet question about an unwanted cake became the beginning of a future rewritten by empathy.